I just had to hear all that for 5 years, really.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a bit frustrating because people that's on the outside looking in, they didn't have an idea what was really going on. But they was just, you know, making up stuff, and the media and other people that believed them was just going with it.
Yeah.
So once we got the fight over with, it was just like a sign of relief.
And before we go into that photo,
I haven't talked about that yet.
Okay, let's talk about this. Terrence Crawford's a great champion as well.
Yeah.
You're a great champion?
Yeah.
First time you've seen him in a while. What did you guys tell each other tonight?
Nah, he just said something. So I don't know. Let's there from one. I like that. I like that. He the best in the business. I like that. He been around this long. Let's there from one. I like that. So he know fight. I like that.
Training with Terrence Crawford reignited Errol Spence's passion for boxing. The two teamed up ahead of Crawford's match against Canelo Alvarez.
It could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. You know, so you know what I'm saying, I'm with it. So you know, I'll be going for Bud. You know, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but I'll definitely be going.
While training with Crawford, Spence told a reporter he plans to get back in the ring later this year, but didn't share any more details.
In 25, y'all gotta stop capping on me, man. The only reason I look overweight in that picture is because I had on like 3 sweaters because it's cold as fuck in Japan. Like, stop it with this shit, man. I stay fit, man. You did? Yes, sir.
Errol Spence joined Crawford at the gym for a light jog and some strength training. They didn't spar, just chatted for a bit before Spence left. Their teamwork now makes it unlikely they'll face each other again, especially since Crawford has moved up from the 147-pound division to fight Canelo Alvarez.
Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for providing us an unbelievable night of boxing here in Las Vegas.
Fans were excited to see the two together, considering them among the best 147-pound boxers ever. One supporter said, "I don't need a Spence versus Crawford rematch anymore, but I do want to see Spence make a comeback." Losing to Crawford doesn't mean he's not a great fighter. He's still got power.
I would never want to fight him coming off an accident like that, because when I beat him, then y'all gonna say it was because of the accident. He fight. He beat Danny Garcia. I was in the crowd. I said, nah, he can't beat me. That's the first time I seen Spence fight live. I said.
So you knew then when you seen that?
I'm like yeah, because you know it's different on TV than when you watching it.
A third fan said Spence is needed to bring some excitement to the 154-pound division, which has been too quiet. They added, "I just hope he's in shape." Errol Spence Jr. hasn't stepped into the ring since losing to Terrence Crawford in 2023. The fight was expected to be even, but Crawford dominated, giving Spence the first loss of his career. Spence now holds a record of 28 wins, 1 loss, with 22 knockouts.
Yeah. But I just felt like, you know, he came prepared and he was ready and he fought a good fight.
Yeah.
He was awkward, he was patient, he was determined, he stuck to his game plan, and he did what he had to do to make.
Spence recently admitted on social media that the biggest mistake he made as an athlete was drinking. His post caught the attention of Gervonta Davis, who's set to fight Lamont Roach tonight. Spence wrote, "The worst thing I did to myself was drink. If you're an athlete, stay focused on your goal. I hope things are better for you and your family." Despite his loss to Crawford, Spence has had a strong career. Still, his last performance drew a lot of criticism, with some fans saying he's not the same anymore. In response, Spence fired back on X, formerly Twitter, saying, "Some of y'all talk too loosely. Say something about y'all's mama so you can see what washed really means."
Well, he's money hungry, he's looking at money and he's trying to cash out and this and that. I've been getting money for years. I've been getting millions for years. And I'm not stupid with my money. As you can see, I don't buy no Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and you know what I mean, walk around with 100 people around me and I got all this jewelry that
Before his loss to Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence held the unified welterweight titles, WBA, WBC, and IBF, ruling the division from 2017 to 2023. He hasn't fought in nearly 2 years, but at 34, fans can still expect him to return with a major opponent as he aims to become a two-division undisputed champ. Crawford stirred things up recently with comments about Spence, reflecting on their 2023 fight where he dominated from start to finish. Since then, Spence hasn't stepped back into the ring. Though he had the chance to trigger a rematch clause, he chose not to.
He got caught. He should have boxed a little bit more, but things happen. You gotta learn from it. Definitely, it was exciting. The whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that I wouldn't change for nothing, and I'm definitely open to the rematch, and hopefully it'll be at 100.
Recently, Spence was in talks to fight WBC and WBO super welterweight champion Sebastian Fundora, but the matchup fell through. After several delays, many fans started to believe Spence might never return to boxing. Meanwhile, Crawford has continued to rise. He's now preparing to face Canelo Alvarez this September. Although Crawford has never fought above 154 pounds, he'll be stepping into the ring at Canelo's weight class of 168, a tough challenge, but one he's confident about handling. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Spence said the 37-year-old has a real shot at beating the unified super middleweight champ. It could happen, so why not? Spence said, "If Crawford wants to push himself to be great, let him. The truth is, if the fight happens, he'll come after Crawford."
If the fight come across the table, I definitely take that fight. I feel like, 165, 168, that's more my natural weight, and it's a lot easier for me to make. So I definitely take that fight.
If he fights Canelo, I'll be supporting him, Spence said. I don't know if he'll win or lose, but I'll definitely be backing Crawford. Spence knows firsthand how dangerous Terence Crawford can be once he finds his rhythm. That's why I believe, if anyone can do it, it's him. He's chasing greatness, so why not? The Texan added. He also pointed out how Canelo Alvarez started his own career as a welterweight and eventually moved up as high as 175 pounds.
I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off. Yeah. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So if he can do it, and he started at 147. So if he's doing it, why can't?
The boxing world is still debating whether Errol Spence Jr. deserves a spot in the Boxing Hall of Fame. The discussion picked up steam after Terence Crawford, now a two-division undisputed champion and Spence's former rival, spoke about it on the 4 Pound Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. Crawford said he could retire today and feel confident about making it into the Hall of Fame, thanks to his accomplishments. But when it came to Spence, he wasn't so sure. He hasn't done everything I've done. He's still working toward it, Crawford said. When asked to elaborate, he began breaking down what Spence has achieved so far.
Broke him down and was able to stop him at the end.
Everybody's wondering what's going on with you and Terence Crawford. This fight gonna happen?
I think it's gonna happen. We both want to fight. I want to fight. He wants to fight, and it's going down to negotiations. So I definitely gonna get the fight this year, and we're gonna square off this year with the biggest fight in boxing.
It is the biggest fight in boxing. Where and when, if you were guessing?
I don't know where. I don't know when, but it's definitely gonna be this year.
All right.
Crawford criticized Spence by saying he only competed in one weight class, never became undisputed, and had already been called a weight bully. He mentioned Spence's win over Kell Brook, noting Brook had already lost and suffered an eye injury by then. These comments were Crawford's way of backing up his opinion. Since the podcast aired, fans and analysts have pushed back hard. Former WBO super featherweight champion Jamal Herring jumped into the conversation, respectfully disagreeing with Crawford. He said he admires Crawford but believes Spence's resume speaks for itself. Herring pointed out that Spence was a unified champion in one of boxing's most competitive divisions. He unified the titles by defeating active champions. None of the belts were vacant. Herring named Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yadenis Ugas as title holders Spence beat to unify. He also highlighted Spence's victories over Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia, especially praising his performance after surviving a serious car crash. Herring emphasized that Spence consistently filled arenas, sold pay-per-views, and played a major role in keeping the welterweight division strong. He argued that one loss to one of the best fighters in the sport doesn't erase everything Spence has done. In Herring's words, Errol Spence Jr. is absolutely worthy of a Hall of Fame spot. Meanwhile, one of Spence's former opponents, has also weighed in on the debate. Ugas and Errol Spence Jr. faced off in April 2022, before Spence's undefeated streak ended against Crawford. Spence stopped Ugas in the 10th round by TKO, leaving the Cuban fighter with a serious eye injury. Still, Ugas holds no grudge. Responding to Crawford's recent comments, Ugas tweeted, "Even if Errol Spence Jr. retired today, I believe he'd be a Hall of Famer." Like Jamal Herring, Ugas praised Spence's comeback after a major car accident and eye surgery, noting, "He has an incredible story of overcoming it. He severely injured my eye, but that's boxing." Ugas said he was honored to share the ring with Spence and hopes to see him back in action. "Fighters are opponents, not enemies," he added. Since Crawford's WBO welterweight title win in his 147-pound debut against Jeff Horn in June 2018, fans have been calling for a showdown with Spence. One major obstacle had been promotional conflicts. That long-awaited matchup finally happened on July 29, 2023, when Crawford and Spence met to crown an undisputed welterweight champion. The fight took place at the sold-out T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, with 19,990 fans in attendance. Crawford put on a dominant performance, stopping Spence in the 9th round by TKO. With that win, Crawford became the first undisputed welterweight champion since 2006 and the only male boxer in the four-belt era to become undisputed in 2 different weight classes. It was also his 11th straight knockout victory, with 9 of those finishes happening in round 6 or later.
There too, did you feel off physically or anything, or what was wrong in the fight?
Yeah, felt a little off physically, but most times I get through it. So, I thought it was gonna be just like the other times, but I couldn't kick it up a notch.
Still, this fight stood out as Crawford's most impressive yet. He put on a boxing clinic, taking control from the moment he knocked Spence down in the 2nd round, something no one had ever done before. Spence, who had never been dropped in his career, ended up hitting the canvas 3 times by the end of the match. Crawford landed 60% of his power punches and 42% of his jabs, including 87 clean jabs, the most any opponent has ever landed on Spence. First, Spence dictated the pace, applying pressure and keeping Crawford on the back foot. Crawford stayed patient, waiting for the right opening. Late in the 1st round, Spence overextended, and Crawford answered with a sharp left hand. It was a glimpse of the strategic chess match fans expected early on, with Crawford known for starting slow and Spence for setting the pace in the 2nd round. Spence continued using movement, his strong jab, and constant pressure to trouble Crawford. But the momentum was already shifting.
I'm about to take my belt off then.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Errol?
You gonna need more than the belt. I don't know what you talking about. I ain't one of your kids.
I'm
gonna
gonna treat
need more than the belt. I ain't one of your kids.
I'm gonna treat you like one.
Yeah, alright, we gonna see.
Alright, we definitely gonna see.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. Brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world.
Late in the 2nd round, Crawford landed a powerful straight left jab that dropped Spence for the first time in his career. By the 4th round, Crawford's power was on full display. A heavy overhand left followed by a series of sharp jabs clearly hurt Spence. The 35-year-old carried that momentum into the 5th, continuing to push Spence back with precise shots, fast counters, and clean technique. As the fight went on, it became less about if it would end and more about when. Crawford dropped Spence 2 more times before finishing the bout with a 9th round TKO.
I got feel for his power, probably like 1st, 2nd round. He's a strong dude, but everybody at this top level have some type of power. But I think because my time was out, he was catching me in between shots.
I get to say I told y'all because I've been asking for these fights for years, and y'all been saying, "Oh, he's too small. He's gonna get this. He's gonna get broken." And each and every time,
I just wanted to become a world champion. I've gone beyond that. I'm an overachiever, Crawford said after the fight. When I started, no one believed in me, but I made them believe. He also thanked Spence and his team, saying, "I told him this moment wouldn't be possible without him. I'm grateful."
What is he Australian?
Who?
What's his name?
Opetaia.
Opetaia.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he Australian or he's from like
But it's the same weight class though, right?
No, it's cruiserweight.
Oh, he is
cruiserweight.
Yeah, he is cruiserweight. Yeah. So I think that this fight's on time for both them guys. You know, everybody wants to see Benavidez in the ring with Canelo, as do I. But I don't think Canelo.
This means everything because of who I took the belts from, Crawford said. They tried to shut me out, discredit me, and claimed I wasn't good enough to beat the top welterweights. But I kept my head up, kept praying, and asked God for a chance to show the world who Terence Crawford really is. And I believe I did that tonight.
And put it all on the line, round of applause to both Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for providing us an unbelievable night of boxing here in Las Vegas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I want to bring up, he is the first male boxer.
Crawford's jab was on full display, landing again and again with precision. Mike Tyson even described it as a battering ram that kept Spence under constant pressure. He's an incredible talent with a great jab, Crawford said of Spence after the fight. Crawford originally won the WBO welterweight title in June 2018 during his debut at 147 pounds, stopping Jeff Horn by TKO. Ever since, fans have been calling for a showdown with Spence, but promotional issues kept it from happening for years. Now with Crawford set to face Canelo Alvarez, he'll have to move up significantly in weight, a challenge many believe could be difficult. 2020 Olympic silver medalist Richard Torres Jr. recently weighed in on the matchup. He shared that Crawford's strength surprised him during a wrestling session they had, and he's confident Bud can handle the task. Speaking to Sean Zittel, Torres said, "I'm Team Crawford, even though I'm a big Canelo fan. I'm leaning a little more toward the USA this time. After seeing his strength firsthand, I'm excited for the fight."
Floyd Mayweather, you know, Oscar De La Hoya in his prime, you know, you can't. So who else is there right now in that stratosphere other than Canelo? There is no one else. Tell me.
No, you got people that's approaching it.
Who's even approaching it? At 54 or
oh no, not at 54. I'm just saying people in boxing. You got Inoue.
Benavidez is approaching it. I think NUA what a big boxing event commands.
If you were to get it done, how do you get it done?
Is that what you said?
Yeah, if you were to get it done against Canelo, how does Crawford get it done? Like,
because you know the thing with Crawford, which is pretty cool, is he can kind of transform seamlessly and do different things in the ring, which is pretty cool for him. Like for an example.
Some time ago, word got out that Crawford had beaten Richard Torres in a wrestling match, and it sparked a few reactions. Torres later clarified, saying, "I didn't even know we were going that hard. We were wrestling in his kitchen when he said, 'Let's see what we got.'" That wraps up the latest updates on boxing news, moments, events, and highlights. Stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our top quality content.